Hello everyone, this is Helbo and today we're here for a new video, a new showcase video, and this time it's on Mortefi. As of now it's considered to be one of the best sub-DPS in the game. When you switch off, his ultimate is going to be staying as an off-field ability and it's going to keep dealing damage as you're also attacking with your main DPS. This is one of the main reasons why Mortefi is going to be one of the best sub-DPS. But before we get into the video, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please leave a like and subscribe, and then we can get into the video. Alright, so for Mortefi's kit, it's actually going to be pretty straightforward. For me, Mortefi's kit is probably one of the easiest to get a hold on. So let's just see what he does, and you'll see that after that you'll understand better. The basic attacks of Mortefi, he's just going to be shooting with the pistol. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then you can see right now the forte gauge is completely full. So if I use the skill, it is going to be enhanced. So you see you have the dragon that's showing up and it did like a huge explosion. You can see that I also still have my E up without any cooldown. This is because the forte gauge was completely full, so it did not use the regular skill. Now if I use the regular skill, you're going to see it has a less bigger impact, and at the same time I am going to have a cooldown. You can see it was less impactful. At the same time, it also builds up the forte gauge so that then you can have your enhanced E skill. To build up your forte gauge, you're obviously going to use your basic attacks. And something that I do like to do is that to help build up your energy for your ultimate and also the concerto energy, it is that when you arrive around half, just like this, you're going to use your E skill instead of building up the rest with your auto attack. What it's going to do is that it is instantly going to build up entirely the forte gauge. Then you're going to be able to follow up with enhanced E. So just like this, you have your forte gauge ready, and then you follow up with enhanced E. Now let's see what Mortefi's Resonance Liberation does. Essentially, it is going to give you this that is going to be right next to you, and whenever you're going to attack, it is going to add additional attacks right next to you. Now there is something to know about this, is that it is considered to be also an off-field ultimate, meaning that if you switch to another character, it is going to stay on. Mortefi does not require to be on field for his ultimate to stay. So this is essentially why Mortefi is one of the best sub DPS, especially for Gian. It is because whenever you're going to switch on Gian with this and use a heavy attack, it is going to trigger the attack of Mortefi's ultimate. Something that can still be good to know is that if you hold left button, you're going to be able to aim and then just target which point you want to aim on the target's body. Now let's see how you're essentially going to be building your Mortefi. Whether you want to play Mortefi as a sub DPS or a main DPS, the weapons are going to be the same, so let's just go over them. The first weapon that is going to be the best for Mortefi is obviously the 5-star standard pistol. Static Mist. This is the best gun to use for Mortefi. It offers a crit rate main stat, and essentially it is going to be increasing the energy regen by 12.8%. When auto skill is released, it increases the switched in resonator's attack by 10%, stacking up to 1 time, and this effect lasts for 14 seconds. So this is obviously the best weapon to use on Mortefi, especially if you're using him as a sub DPS, because Mortefi from his kit is already going to be providing lots of buffs for your other character, but adding that weapon, you're also adding 10% attack bonus damage to the next resonator you're switching to. So this is a really good weapon to go for on Mortefi. The second best weapon you can go for is a 4-star called Nova Burst. Nova Burst has a substat attack percentage, and it gives when the resonator dashes or dodges, it increases the attack by 4%, stacking up to 3 times. This effect lasts for 8 seconds. This is a good option. We obviously all dash or dodge in the game, so you're just going to be increasing your attack consistently, and this is going to be good for Mortefi. Now the second 4-star weapon you can use is going to be Undying Flame, which is actually the weapon you're seeing me use in the footage in the background. Undying Flame has a substat of attack percentage, and the skill of the weapon is that when the intro skill is released, it increases the resonance skill damage bonus by 20% for 15 seconds. With Mortefi, you have the capacity to technically send 2 E skill back to back. So this weapon is going to increase both E skill by 20% for 15 seconds, which is going to be drastically improving your damage. Now let's go over Mortefi's Echo. If you want to play him as a sub DPS, you're gonna go for the Moonlit Clouds. This is going to provide more energy regen so that his on-field time during the rotation is going to be reduced, and at the same time it is going to, upon using your auto skill, increase the attack of the next resonator. Now let's see which Echo you actually want to equip, what main stat you want to go for. For the 4-cost Echo, you're gonna want to go for the Heron. Why the Heron? Is because when the initial attack lands on an enemy, the current character regains 10 resonance energy. If the current character uses their auto skill within the next 15 seconds, the next character's damage dealt will be boosted by 12% for 15 seconds. Once again, this is going to be boosting the next character's attack. For the main stat you want to aim for on the 4-cost Echo, it is going to be the crit rate. Crit damage can be good if you already have the required crit rate. The substats you're going to want to aim for on all of your echoes are going to be energy regeneration, at least until the breakpoint, which is considered to be 40 to 50%. Then you want to go for crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage, flat attack, liberation, damage. This is essentially the main stats you're gonna go for, but if you do have the energy regeneration and the crit rate as well as some attack percentage, you're going to be really good. For the 2-3 cost Echo, you're gonna go for the fusion damage bonus, still aiming for the same substats, and then for your last 1-2 cost echoes, you go for some attack percentage bonus. For Mortefi's Forte circuit, you're gonna want to increase mainly this, which is going to provide that after casting resonance skill Passionate Variation, the damage of the resonance skill Fury Fugue is increased by 25% for 8 seconds. Go for this first to procure more damage to your Mortefi, but obviously also still think about building up the rest of his abilities. For the sequence you actually want to go for on Mortefi, if you're a low spender, if you can get at least to the S2, it is going to be really good for your Mortefi. It is essentially going to restore an additional 10 resonance energy, and this can be triggered once every 20 seconds. What it's going to do is that it's going to help lowering the on-field time of your Mortefi during his rotation. So this is going to allow you to go faster on Gian and overall lose less time in the endgame content and provide more damage. If you invest a little bit more on your Mortefi, the minimum one I would recommend to go for is S4. The duration of the resonance liberation is extended by 7%. This is going to be increasing the time his ultimate is going to last and overall dealing more damage with your Gian. Now for Mortefi's best team, you're going to want to go for Gian, Mortefi, Verena. If you do not have Gian, you can play Mortefi with pretty much any other main DPS. Just keep in mind that for his resonance liberation to trigger off field, you need to be dealing heavy attacks damage, which is why it's not going to work with every character, since not all characters are going to be dealing massive damage with their heavy attacks, just like Gian does. You can obviously replace the main DPS for Danjin. If you do have her, it is going to be working just as good. It's just not going to be the same. Now that you know everything you need to know about how to play and build your Mortefi, you're probably wondering what's the rotation you should be following to play him. If you've watched my Gian video, it is essentially going to be the same rotation, but just for the sake of this video, I'm gonna go over again so that you can know how to play your Mortefi. You're gonna start with Gian until you get your Concerto energy ready. Whenever your Concerto is up, you're first going to switch on Verena. The rotation for Verena is getting also your Concerto energy ready, so you charge it up. Ideally you use your ultimate, but if you do not have it, you just don't. Then you use the Echo skill, you switch onto Mortefi. Once again you charge your Concerto energy. Whenever your Concerto energy is ready, you trigger your ultimate, Echo skill, switch onto your main DPS, the Echo skill of your main DPS, and then the ultimate or whatever you do to use to deal damage. This is about everything there is to know about Mortefi. You now know how to play him and how to build him, as well as his rotation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that it was helpful to you. If it was, make sure to leave a like, subscribe and activate the little bell so that you do not miss any of the other videos. Until the next time, bye bye guys.